Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday, which I know ordinarily is my yo-yo review day, but I actually wanted to break that mold a little bit to talk about. I want to do a discussion, and the thing I want to discuss today, and it's something I actually I was talking to a friend of mine who yo-yos earlier today about it. Now my friend has been yo-yoing on and off for a few years now. I met him, probably my junior year of high school. So that was about 2.5 years ago now. And he asked me, he kind of mentioned to me, because I'm not, I don't know, compared to some people I'm a great yo-yoer, but compared to others I'm not very good. But I like to think I'm pretty decent. And so he asked me, he's like, hey, what does it take to be a good yo-yoer? And I didn't have an answer. Not right at first, anyway. I had to think about it, and so that really inspired me to talk to you guys about it. And so, what I'm going to discuss is what I think every yo-yoer should do if they want to become a good yo-yoer. You know, like, and I'm not talking world champion good. I'm talking someone who's pretty competent at throwing around a piece of metal on a string or a piece of plastic on a string and making it look, mostly hitting the tricks and stuff. And so that's just what I want to discuss. So my thing is, there's really no such thing as a good yo-yoer. And hear me out on this. There are plenty of people who are very competent using a yo-yo. I count myself among that number. But I think how can I put this? Your definition, or in order to be a good yo-yo, a yo-yoer, I think it is entirely up to you whether or not you're good. If you hit a point where you're like, yeah, maybe I'm not Gentry Stein or Hiroyuki Suzuki or Yuki Spencer or anybody like that, but I'm pretty good. I place pretty well in some contests, or even if that's not your thing, even if you couldn't care less about contests, you're doing skills that at one point you thought were way out of your skill set. I know I'm hitting stuff like that now, and I'm feeling really good about it. And so I think it's getting to a point where I can say I'm a good yo-yoer. But there is no benchmark for a good yo-yoer. But I think some things that could probably help you validate yourself as a good yo-yoer is yo-yo for fun. And I realize we all yo-yo for fun, but hear me out on this one. A lot of the time when we sit down, when we pick up our yo-yos, or I know I catch myself falling into this a lot. I'm like, okay, what can I do to make sure next year at the Florida State Yo-Yo Contest I do well? And I want to make sure I'm always doing better and better. And I realize that kind of takes away the fun of yo-yoing for me. It's more competition at that point. And yeah, competition is good. Competition is healthy. It's how we innovate. They say necessity is the mother of invention. Well, I think we can say competition is the mother of innovation in yo-yo tricks. That's a little long-winded, but I think that competition is good for innovating tricks, but it's not necessarily fun. And so I'll go and I'll pick up my yo-yo, and if I really want to have fun while I'm throwing, I'll play a song and just yo-yo along to it. I'll hit the music cues however I feel like, and I don't really worry about whether or not my tricks look good or they're executed well. I'm doing it to enjoy myself, to get a kick out of yo-yoing, which kind of sounds really dorky and nerdy, but we're playing with yo-yos, so we're already there. And I think that's a really good step to becoming what you can call yourself a good yo-yoer. Because the more you enjoy yo-yoing, I found this in my experience, the more you do things in yo-yoing that you enjoy, the better you're going to get at it. Because you're going to enjoy this, and so enjoying something kind of just lends itself to learning it better. And so, if you go and you take these tricks you already know and you practice them, while you're listening to music, you don't even have to be actively practicing them. But if I go and I do, like I did a tutorial at one point on the Ann Cannoli bind. I just found out that's how her last name is pronounced. I thought it was Ann Connolly, but it's Ann Cannoli. I like to do that one in songs, and so I'll be singing along. And one song I like to do is I really have a lot of fun yo-yoing to a song called Mama Yo by Yolanda Be Fine, and it's a really fun song. It's got a lot of really good music cues, but there's a lot of points where the song will stop playing, and I'll land that Anne Connolly bind, and then immediately go into the next. When the beat picks back up, I'll go into my next trick, and I feel really good about doing that. That's a good way for me to practice. That enforces the trick for me. It gives me finer control over it, and I hit it more successfully when I do decide to practice for a competition. So I think that's a thing you should do. Another thing you should do, and it's a thing I do all the time. Just watch yo-yo videos. You don't necessarily have to be playing with a yo-yo to learn about yo-yoing. I know I like to watch Brandon Vu. I watch a lot of Brandon Vu, actually. Mr. Mattio. Sometimes I'll just watch a yo-yo trick with no intention of learning it. I'll go on and I'll watch something from Mr. Mattio or Rethink Yo-Yo, which I don't think they actually make videos anymore, but they have a lot of them. I'll just watch a tutorial, and I'll be like, wow, that's a really cool element at some point, and maybe I'll use that, but that's for later. I don't worry about it right now. And so I think that's important. Just watch tricks, watch videos, get inspired by yo-yoing, but you don't necessarily have to yo-yo. And if you do yo-yo, hey, maybe just mess around with it. You know, I actually know I've made a lot of the tricks I enjoy the most that I've made or learned. I just kind of ran into by accident sometime. Like I made a trick the other day. I call it Orange Blossom Honey, and at one point during the trick, I land a backwards green triangle, so the triangle's on this side, and then I perform a suicide, and it's still a backwards green triangle, but I flip it around into a backwards green triangle where my hand is crisscrossed, and I had a lot of fun coming up with that. And so, becoming a good yo-yoer doesn't necessarily have to be learning someone else's tricks. You can also be trying to make your own. But the key thing when you're doing something like that, if you are learning tricks or making your own, is I feel like once you get frustrated with it, back away. Because once you get frustrated with it, it's going to make yo-yoing no longer fun for you for however long you're frustrated. And so I'll be working on a trick, and if I'm just like, man, I want this to happen in a certain way, or if I'm learning a trick, like I'm actually currently working on learning Tessa Picillo's nitrogen cycle, which is it's a crazy techie trick, and it's a lot of fun. But sometimes there are certain parts, like the very beginning mount, which is like a weird backwards crisscross arm chopstick, and it's really crazy. Sometimes I don't land that perfectly, or there's a part immediately into the trick that has a rejection where you land on the back string, and I can't always land it when I'm trying to learn the trick, and so after a while I get frustrated, and then it's like, no, let's back away. Let's go watch Brandon Vu talk about yo-yos, or even get away from yo-yoing altogether. Don't when you want to become a good yo-yoer, I think you need to yo-yo in a way that is enjoyable to you. And if you also happen to learn more tricks and more techniques and more elements while you're doing that, great. That'll only help you. But I think a good yo-yoer, like I said, this is entirely up to you, but for me, a good yo-yoer is somebody who truly enjoys yo-yoing. Now, a great yo-yoer is different. A great yo-yoer, I think there are some people who are definitely great yo-yoers, undisputed. I mentioned a few minutes ago, Gentry Stein, Hiroyuki Suzuki, Yuki Spencer, I don't know, Harold Owens, when he still yo-yoed. I don't know if he still does. But he was good, national champions. Zach Gormley, I don't know, Jake Elliott, Shu Takeda, Iori Yamaki, Takeshi Matsuda. These are all great yo-yoers. We've seen their accomplishments are phenomenal. Their technique is great. But anybody can be a good yo-yoer, and I think they need to enjoy it. And you don't have to be really good at doing tricks to be a good yo-yoer. I don't think. I think for me, a good yo-yoer is someone who can pick up a yo-yo and just have fun. And there's a lot of people who I've seen can't do that. I saw a lot of people when I went to the Florida State yo-yo contest. There was this kid. She was working on finger spins, and I really like to do finger spins, and I think I'm pretty okay at them. I'm no Paul Kerbal or anything, but I'm pretty good at them. I can land it for a solid amount of time, and I can get them mostly upright for the most part. And so I walked over, and I'm like, hey kid, why don't you do something else? And she's like, no, I have to learn this finger spin. I'm like, yeah, but you're ruining the fun of it for you. What's the point of knowing the finger spin? What's the point of learning it if it just makes you super frustrated? And that is for me the dividing line between good yo-yoer and bad yo-yoer. A good yo-yoer, I think, is someone who enjoys what they're doing, and if they get good at it, great. And I think a bad yo-yoer is someone who forces things to happen. That they force themselves to keep trying to learn tricks when maybe they don't. That's not what they need to do to be a good yo-yoer. So, like, I know, like I said, I take a break from learning nitrogen cycle, or I take a break from working on orange blossom honey or whatever. I'll go and just yo-yo to have fun. I'll work on some simple stuff, do a brain twister every now and then. Don't worry if you can't land that crazy 4.5 hook or whatever. There's all sorts of stuff you can do that is a lot more fun in yo-yoing than forcing yourself to just deal with frustration, or to just sit through it, not deal with it, because dealing with frustration is good. Sitting through frustration, just mulling in it, is good, because that is not good. That takes the fun out of yo-yoing. And really, the bottom line here is, when you're yo-yoing, if you want to be a good yo-yoer, to me, just enjoy yourself and let your learning come naturally. Don't force yourself to suffer through the learning of yo-yoing. And I notice when I look back on it now, when I first started yo-yoing, there was a lot of times where I was like, I would be learning a yo-yo trick, and it wouldn't go the way I wanted to. I remember specifically when I first started out, I had the hardest time with a 1.5 mount. But my friend Richard Murphy, who was actually, when I first started yo-yoing, I saw a few videos on Yo-Yo Expert, and that was all I knew. And then I ran into Richard Murphy, and he showed me a lot of stuff. And so I learned a lot through him, and he could do a 1.5 mount. He could do a lot of things I couldn't do at the time. He still can. He's a lot more skilled than I am. For now, I'm working on changing that. But he has a lot more skills than I do, and he's more versatile in his tricks. But the big thing for me was there was a 1.5 mount. I knew it was within my grasp, and he could do it, and I couldn't, and I had to learn. And that was not good. It didn't help me learn the 1.5 mount. Now, 1.5 mount is easy now, but I didn't have any fun learning it. Yeah, I have fun doing it now, but at the time, I could have just worked on it a little while until I got the idea of, like, give it a tiny bit of slack to go over your finger, or something that just wasn't working at the time. I could have done something else and come back to that when I was more okay, when I was at a more level mind, and I would have learned it faster, I would have learned it better, and I think I'd be a better yo-yoer if I had taken the time to think about it now. I think I'm more skilled yo-yoer, not a better yo-yo, because like I said, a good yo-yoer is completely up to you. Anyway, I just think a good yo-yoer is a subjective thing, a great yo-yoer isn't. And as long as you enjoy yo-yoing, and if you can force yourself to learn, but don't force yourself to suffer through frustration, because that's just going to make you a bad yo-yoer in the end. Anyway, that's it for me today. Sorry to go off schedule like this. I will post another video on Saturday, and I think it's going to be a trick tutorial this time. I haven't done one of those in a couple weeks. So that'll be it for me. This is Jesse, signing out.